Welcome to the Dungeon Crawl Classics Road Crew game, Stories from Valtara. I am your Judge Shadowfoot, and this will be an ongoing actual play of the Dungeon Crawl Classics RPG in a homebrew region of my making. We will follow a group of villagers as they seek to be more than just lowly craftsmen and peasants, seeking riches and glory through sword and sorcery. Or die trying. The following is episode 10, and our party is hired by a farmer whose sheep have been attacked at night. His night watchman has gone missing, and his employees are too scared to stay overnight. What has been attacking the farm, and what happened to the night watchman? Find out as we travel back to Valtara. Welcome back to DCC Sunday Morning Drive, Stories from Valtara. Our last session, the party had heard the rumors and had gotten a bit more, the rumors had grown a bit more of the undead in one of the local graveyards, basically rising and causing some havoc. Your party decided to go and investigate, being joined by a new party member. A wizard named Merlin had appeared and offered his services as well. When you guys got there, you started to search around the graveyard, and zombies began to rise, and eventually the Banshee herself rose and attacked you guys. Fighting your way through the zombies, you made your way to a couple different crypts, investigated those crypts, found out who they belonged to, and eventually made it to the caretaker's shack in the back. You were informed that he was paid to move the remains of one of the village citizens from her graveyard next to her husband to a separate tomb, just moving it to make room for the husband's new wife. This apparently angered the spirit, and that is why she had risen, but you were able to find where the bones were currently buried and put them back in the sarcophagus where she originally belonged. And that seemed to satiate the undead spirit, and she went quiet. Merlin was able to collect some of the blue, turquoise ash that was left behind when she was defeated for himself. And the party got a couple supplies and some coin from the caretaker, and the caretaker decided that maybe this living in a graveyard, taking care of the graveyard wasn't for him anymore, and he headed back to town, as did you. As you guys got back to town, another week or so has gone by. You've done just whatever it is you do in your downtime, and in that time. You guys have heard some rumors starting to spread, little people chatting on the side of the street, somebody at the next table at the inn, talking with friends. It appears that, when the earthquake happened, a party was sent in each direction, north, south, east, west, but the party from the east has not returned. The party from the east was heading out to the Iron Hills, or the Iron End, and has not returned. Rumors go about...
Iron Hands or Iron Hills, sorry.
So Iron End is the city up in the mountains where there's a mine that a lot of the iron comes from that ends up coming through your town all the way out to the main city on the water. So people have, thought that, they probably just found work there in Iron End and have been working out there and making some money. Perhaps they were attacked by bandits and lost. Others say that maybe the dragon from up in the mountain came down and got them. Just all sorts of different rumors from basic, hey, they just started working somewhere, they got lost, to, the fantastical, the dragons and other monsters got them. And then you also hear that it's been probably a couple months since the town has seen any shipments coming from Iron End of iron or jewels or gems or anything like that coming from the hills, those mines, which is unusual because usually you'd have about every month or so there would be a shipment coming through, a caravan, but it's been a little while. And lastly, you hear one person mention that seemed they are friends with the caretaker from the graveyard, seemed to be talking to somebody else in low hushed tones that, my friend who's the caretaker over at the graveyard said that, when the undead rose, he was rescued by a party. One of them was some guy who used blood magic, and he kind of whispered tones, kind of talking, because, they know that magic's kind of hush-hush. But apparently somebody, most likely the caretaker, had let slip that someone in the area is using magic.
So, are we together now? Like, all of us?
Yeah, we could say that you guys are currently together. Have come together to look in, for your next work. You guys have, formed your party. So you guys, you usually take about a week or so of downtime in between your adventures to recover up, heal up, get back your strength and such, and then, again, listen for rumors and look for some work. So at this time, those are kind of the things you've been hearing around, and then. You also hear that the farmer whose sheep had been going missing had been attacked. That prior, a week ago, prior to you going and investigating the graveyard, one of the caretaker's farmhands had disappeared, and now it's gotten worse. His second farmhand has now disappeared as well.
So the main two problems that we have at the moment is the farmer, and the second one is this team that was sent to investigate, I believe, the eastern part of the earthquake, correct?
Yep.
Which is the Iron Hills.
Yep.
Okay, I just take notes of this. Okay, so after this entire like rumors and everything, that I just gonna sit down with everyone and I looked to them and so like I really appreciate a lot a less adventure than the graveyard. I was able to study a lot and take a lot of notes. So there's this rumor of the farmer and also the team for the earthquake investigation. And I would be lying if I would say that I am extremely interested to study what is happening there. More than anything about the earthquake, I just want to dig what is the reason behind that. But I am not very strong on my own, and I really would appreciate if I could, in a more permanent way, join your group per se.
Sure, absolutely. We definitely
Yeah,
need of somewhat of your skills.
I appreciate that, but as I mean, I would be a bad person if I don't say that. I believe you noticed that and I just drop like the volume of my voice, like I'm a spellcaster, so you do understand that this may cause some trouble for all of you, including with the Order of the Gauntlet, correct? I promise that I try as best as I can not to use it, but is this a risk that you are willing to take? I understand if you don't.
We like spellcasters,
Yep.
and we like trouble.
And our pal Levi is known to cast a spell or two as well. So, and he's been with us for quite a while.
Well, it is settled then.
And I think
So,
the barber would be very happy to see you come along as well, as he's probably looking for any reason to bring the gauntlet. He's looking for the gauntlet. So anything that brings the gauntlet to him, he'd probably be at least somewhat okay with.
alright, settled then. We travel together. Now, which way do we go? We go help the farmer or travel east to investigate the Iron Hills?
Good question. It sounds like if we go east, which might be the bigger problem, we we risk coming back to reports of more local trouble. But yeah, if we go to that, we delay figuring out what happened to the guys in the east. I don't know. It seems like the more local thing probably is the more urgent in
Yeah,
terms.
I mean, I would say the farmer's hands because food is important, and if word gets out that farms are unsafe to work at, the crops aren't going to get harvested, and people might starve. So that's a big problem.
If we go kill a dragon in the east and come back only to find our home base compromised, that doesn't do us a lot of good. I think we would do the local thing first, the sheep. Though it doesn't sound very glorious.
Well, who knows till we get there? Things going missing could be anything, right? It could be a dragon. Who knows?
Dragon and sheep.
All
I
right.
like sheep. I think food, mutton.
So with that, you find out that and you heard the name. The farm is Endrick Woolman, so the Woolman Farm. So again, to the south of town, down in the Cattle Song, is where you can find his farm.
Do I have time in my downtime to have my rusty longsword de-rusted and identified?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the rusty longsword, just repairs on that. Let's see. A longsword generally costs 10 gold, so you're looking at about 2.5 gold, so 2 gold, 5 silver, to have that fully sharpened, cleaned, getting all the grime out of the intricate part of the handle and the cross section there, and just makes it immaculate and beautiful for you.
All right. And then how about, I think we concluded +1. I'd like to run it past a magic user and just see if this has any history or any, if there's anything known about this sword before I name it.
You take it to, there's a local scholar here who runs kind of a, quote unquote library where they have some books and stuff like that. And they, look at it, they look at the engravings and things on it. They can't find any kind of identifying mark that would have a specific emblem or symbol. The filigree and stuff on the head of the sword and the shaft and such is all nicely carved, but it's not any kind of specific symbol. So they're looking at it. They can't identify, maybe who would have made it or any great deeds that this sword has done. And, they don't sense any kind of magical essence on it outside of the +1. So doesn't seem to speak to you in any way as you've spent time with it now trying to, connect with it. So this one doesn't seem to have any sentience to it either.
Okay. Well, I'm going to name him Trusty Rusty. And how much does that identification cost me?
I would say for that, just 5 silver pieces, as the library is, they're not very expensive.
Okay. All right, I guess I'm ready.
All right, so you guys are heading down to the farm? Or does anybody else have anything they want to do in their downtime?
Quiet.
All right. So you guys head south through town, heading past the main quarter there, crossing the bridge over to Cattle Song, and immediately find yourself passing by. The buildings go from stacked on top of each other to much more spread out as you start passing the farms. As you're passing the farms, you can see areas where there's, a dozen shacks tightly put together where it looks like a lot of the farm hands will live as they, come back here and don't live on the farms themselves a lot of times. So then they continue past that. You head out, takes you maybe an hour, 2 hours of walking to get out to the Woolman Farm. As you start to come by, you see that the farm is quite large. It has some large corn fields that, it's getting into fall, so these are all fully grown, very, very tall corn stalks in these farms, so it looks like it's doing very, very well. And you eventually find yourself at a gate. The gate is open. It has a sign hanging over the top that says Woolman. And you start to head down the road. So again, you're walking down the road, and there's cornfields on both sides of you now as you're going. As you start to make your way in a little ways, you can see off to one side that there's a couple workers harvesting some of the corn. And as you continue further towards the farm, the corn stops and you start to see other patches. You see some pumpkins and some sweet potatoes and some other farms that are growing here. And you can see workers on each of the fields starting to harvest some things and start to bundling things up, putting them in barrels and heading towards the barn. And at this point, too, you start to see there's a large farmhouse. Looks to be possibly even 3 stories, 2 stories with an attic, or 3 stories possibly. Quite large. And then next to that is a fairly large wooden barn and what looks like a grain silo as well. You see half a dozen people out and about working, doing their different tasks, and you see a couple old dogs, kind of sleeping on the bench, or not the bench, the porch of the main farmhouse. And as you walk in, you see a person who looks like they were filling up a water barrel from a well, turn and see you guys and start to wipe their hands off on a towel that's kind of wrapped around their waist and walk over to you. And this young farmhand says, welcome to the Woolman Farm. What can we do for you?
Well, we heard you had some trouble out this way.
Oh yes, finally. We've been asking for some help for quite some time. Let me go get my father. And he runs off towards the house and heads inside. And you hear the door creak and then slam shut. And then it takes just a couple more minutes, and they come back out, him and his father. And the young boy looks at his dad, and his dad says something to him and points, and the young boy goes back to the task that he was doing. And who you assume now is Endrick Woolman. He approaches, and he's a man probably in his late 40s. He's got a short, fairly well-maintained beard that's got some gray to it. He's got a head wrap, kind of like a cloth head wrap on his head, and his overalls are dirty, so it looks like he's been out working as well. And he approaches and says, "Welcome to the Woolman Farm. I'm Endrick. I hear you're here to help us with our issues we've been having lately."
Exactly. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. So, well, it's been going back almost a month now. We've been having some issues. Our cattle, and he kind of points to the back. We have some sheep grazing in the back there. I've got about 3 dozen sheep originally, but over the past month or so, every so often at night, something comes and takes one of the sheep. I had posted a couple of my farmhands out at night to watch over them, and about say 2 weeks ago or so, one of them went missing. I'm not sure what happened. I couldn't see any trails to signify what had happened to him. He just up and vanished. I asked around town, and no one in town had seen him either, so it makes me think whatever had gotten my sheep got him as well. So I hired one of my other farmhands, had them watch over at night, and unfortunately, last week, he went missing too. And I've lost now about maybe 13, 14 sheep have gone missing. So it's terrible, because if this keeps up, I'm not going to have any meat to sell, and that's really going to hurt my business.
Are the sheep disappearing entirely, or are they just ending up eaten when the sun rises in the morning?
I haven't found a carcass or any remains. I found couple drips of blood, but nothing too much. Even that I had to search for. So they're not leaving much behind when they take them.
Did you search for trails?
I did, and I believe I found in a couple soft parts of dirt what looked to be wolf footprints.
All right. I mean, we can start the investigation there, but we don't work for free. So, what is your proposal?
Absolutely. Well, being a sheep farmer, we've got plenty of wool, and my wife makes some fine wool cloaks. I can give you each a wool cloak it is starting to get a bit chilly as the fall winds are starting to come in. And outside of that, I definitely can give you some coin from our stocks, and I think that's about what I got. So some fine work. I can give you some gold and some fine cloaks.
I look to everyone else. You guys agree with this?
Sounds good.
Sure.
Okay, and you have to name one of your goats after me.
Well, what's your name, sir? What's your name?
It's Merlin.
Merlin. All right. Funny name. We can probably name a sheep after you. No problem. The next, I think one of my sheep is currently pregnant and should be due here in a couple months. I'll name the new little wee one Merlin.
All right, got a deal. Can you take us to the trade that he found?
Aye, absolutely. And he says, waves over at one of his farm hands to, kind of signify that he's leaving and walking off. And then he says, right this way. So he leads you between the farmhouse and the barn, and leads you over to a gate behind that. Opening the gate, he leads you guys through, closes it behind him, and you can see that off to the right there's a small kind of open-faced shack, which looks like where the sheep can go and get some cover from any rain or get out of the sun. And you can see maybe 6 or 7 sheep over there, and then further off grazing in the fields you see another dozen or so sheep. And he says, okay, right this way. We head back towards the northeastern pen, corner of the pen there, and over there near that large oak tree. And you see this very, very massive oak tree, and this whole pen is just open kind of field with this one large tree on this back corner. And he starts leading you over that way. And you start to get closer over there, you can see that there's a bench set up, and looks like probably where Night Watch would sit and kind of watch over the fields. He says, this is where Tabernay, my farmhand, would spend his evenings watching over the herd here. And he was my first farmhand that disappeared. He was a good lad. He'd been with me for quite some time. I don't think he would run away. So I definitely think whatever it was took him. And if you come over this way, and he leads you all the way back towards the other end of the gate, and you can see the way the fence is, it's one of those wooden fences with 2 or 3 cross beams, so the sheep don't quite fit through it, but something could probably jump over it. It's not very super tall. And he kind of points out just over the fence here, and he starts to climb over the fence, and come with me, and you guys can climb over with him. And he leads you probably another 50, 60 feet or so is where the tree line starts into the woods. And he starts looking around again. He's like, where was it? And he sees, oh gosh, over here. And you can see an area where it looks like it was a bit softer earth there. You can see that there are 2 or 3 wolf prints that you can immediately kind of spot. Looks like a couple of them are coming towards the farm and another one leaving in the same direction. This is where I saw the prints.
Well, okay, you can leave with us now, and then you can return, and we talk to you after.
Aye, I'll be within earshot. If you need anything, just a holler.
Hell yeah. Does anyone here knows how to, track this?
No idea.
Yeah, not much of I was a mercenary. I can track people, but I don't know about wolf prints. Are we better off staying here and waiting to see if they show up again at night, or are we better off wandering out there and trying to trace this footprints? I'm not sure.
At this point, you kind of hear a voice come back. He's like, "Oh, I forgot. If I can pay you as a group. A silver piece each for Night Watch. If you don't mind, I can stay here until they come. Probably the easiest way to track them is wait for them to come back. I know they're gonna come back. So, Be a silver pence per night for night watch. Silver each.
Well, I think that works. What do you guys think?
Sure.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think we're skilled at tracking, so probably waiting for them to come back and setting up a trap of some kind is probably our best bet.
Is there a tree nearby where we can watch stealthily?
Well, so the big oak tree in the field is the only tree by itself. So that one, I mean, if you got up into the tree, maybe. But there's like a bench next to it where the sheep herder can sit and watch. And then other than that, the tree line that you guys see like the footprints at, it's a not extremely dense and thick forest. The trees are fairly spread out, so you can see a good distance around. But you could definitely try to hide yourselves in between the trees or behind some bushes and things like that. But yeah, there's definitely not anything that's like super thick to hide behind.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe one or two public watchmen, and then the rest of us hiding.
Yeah, I think also let's check which way the wind is blowing, so that we're downstream, I guess, of where we think they might come from, so they don't get our scent. If they are wolves, they'll smell us a mile away, probably.
You can tell right now that the wind seems to be coming from the west, so west to east.
Or maybe if the farmer's got any whole fleeces, sitting pat, so maybe I could just wrap myself in a fleece and pretend to be another sheep in the herd.
I would pay to see that.
I'll say that you guys spend some time, looking around, trying to set yourselves up to, okay, where's the best place to hide if we want to hide. Looking at the bench and kind of the area where the sheep herder would sit. Looking around, you spend some time. It starts to get into later into the afternoon, and the breeze picks up a little bit, so it gets a little bit chilly. At this point, Endrick comes back and he hands each of you a fairly fine like wool cloak. It's fairly large where you can wrap it around yourself completely to keep you warm. So you each get a wool cloak worth 2 gold pieces. Nice. He says, "Here, take these. These will keep you warm at night." And he even brings over a lantern, and you can see that there's a hook attached to the tree where you can hang the lantern. And the last thing he says is, "Well, we'll be making supper for our night crew here shortly. If you'd like to partake, let me know, and we'll bring some out for you."
Would you take it?
I would gladly take some dinner.
Right.
Chad, let me ask something. If we take a good spot to hide, for example, and I can see like where the sheep are, correct? Like distributed there.
Yeah, it's a fairly large pen, but it's fairly flat at this area. So wherever they are in the pen, especially from where you are at this tree, you have you can see all 4 corners of the pen. You can see anything that's there. You can see the little open-faced shack where they can huddle together at night, and which is where most of them have started to move to as the sun is starting to set a little bit. Most of them have moved to that spot. It doesn't help that also that the farmhand is now fed, thrown their feed out and their water, so they've all gone over there, so they're all in that one spot.
Okay, so would it be possible for me, and that's on purpose, like completely separated from where the other ships are, to hide myself among the others, with the others, and cast cantrip to create the image of a ship, so whatever the predator is would think that the ship is alone?
Yeah, you can absolutely attempt that.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, although I don't think you should be the bait. I think I should be the bait.
No, he's gonna do basically like an image of a sheep using cantrip. He's gonna attempt to create the image of a sheep.
Okay, but you're not gonna be actually in that cloak as that sheep. Okay, that's fine.
Oh no, I'm gonna be hiding with you guys, and then I'm gonna cast cantrip and try to make a ship show up. But it's just an illusion, and then whatever it is, the predator or wolf or whatever, attack, then we can jump in and try to kill it.
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna hide myself in that oak tree, just in the lower branches, just so that as they approach, it just looks like there's one herder.
All right, so wish me luck. Don't fail this roll, please.
Yay!
All
That's
right,
pretty good.
that is pretty good. So a 20 total. Let's see. So we'll rework this here. So you blah 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 blah. Let's go into cantrip here really quick. So we'll visual effect up to 20 feet per caster level. For example, a flash of light, dancing lights, ray of moonlight, or a patch of darkness. Enhance voice to booming shout, fake dog bark, basic ventriloquism, and you're up to, as above, the caster can connect effects similar to range. For example, make a mug fall, buttons off a dress, twist a knob, cause a deck of cards to shuffle itself, and then, so this one can actually cut you. So you rolled basically max on that cantrip, so good. So with that, I'll let you add the visual effect. So it, a human would look at it and go, well, that's definitely not a sheep. But you create what looks like, this round, fluffy, white creature, and you can even add the sound of it, making, sheep noise. So down at the base of the tree, kind of by itself. And so this white fluffy ball is making these sheep sounds over next to the tree now.
Right? Just keep it there. See what happens.
All right. So, Hundo, you said you were going up into the tree?
Yeah.
Okay. Merlin and Pete, where are you guys hanging out? Oh, and I forgot. Pete, roll me a d3 really quick for see how much luck you recover through prayer and all those things that you do over your downtime.
Come on, 3. That's all right.
All right, you recover 2 luck. All right, so Merlin and Pete, where are you guys going to be situated?
Hide. I'm just gonna hide, like whatever I can hide well. I don't know. Behind the tree, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so in the woods.
Where's everyone else?
So Hundo is up in the oak tree that's still in the pen, so that one single oak tree. So he's basically right over your image that you've created.
I don't know. I don't want to be alone.
Yeah, don't be too far off.
Yeah, I'll be with him, the oak tree. Yeah.
Okay.
Do the sheep graze like pretty far away from their like hut or whatever that they stay in, or do they kind of stick close to it?
During the day, you saw them kind of spread out a little bit more, but now as it's becoming night, they've all gone over to their little hut and they're kind of huddled together, for warmth and cover.
I'll just hide behind the hut on, well, I guess if the wind's coming from the west, on the east side.
Near the sheep? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So where the little hut is for the sheep and where the oak tree is probably a distance of, we'll say, think of a general football field. I mean, it's a pretty large pen, so about 100 yards or 100 meters or so. All right. So as the first night goes in, you guys have had your meal. You guys have set yourself up for the night. You have the what looks like one sheep off on its own next to the tree. So with that,
Bye.
so for this first night. You hear some howling out in the woods, but it sounds like it's decently far off. Nothing seems to come by this first night. Your first sunrise comes without any sheep being attacked, without any wolves coming out. So your first night watch goes by smooth, no problem. And during the day, you get to move about freely on the farms. You can see, the farmhands all arriving bright and early in the morning, like as the sun is just beginning to crest over the tree lines. You see all the farm workers coming down the main road to come back to work. The few night crew that were there are heading out, switching shifts. And with that, is there anything you guys want to do during the day?
I guess sleep if we were up on that.
Right, get some sleep.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So with that, Endrick Wig comes out in the morning. Says, "Oh, well, did you guys see have any trouble? Any signs?"
We heard some
Not
howling.
so far.
All right. Well, I'm sure you guys are quite tired. Let me lead you over to. I got a few rooms available for farmhands and such. If you'd like, you could use them. I've got 2 rooms available, each with 2 beds. You guys can use those while you stay here and help us out. Saves you having to make the trip all the way back into town and coming back out.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right. So it takes you over around the other side of the barn, past the grain silo that they have, and you see that there's about 4 small shacks. Each one of them's kind of like one room. And inside, there's no kitchen. There's an outhouse back behind those. But they're basically just bare rooms with a couple beds. There are a small just chest box at the foot of each bed. Doesn't look like they lock or anything like that. They're just general. If you need to put some basic things in there, you can while you're staying here. And the beds themselves, while not extremely comfortable, they definitely make do. It looks like they've used a good amount of the wool from what they produce here to create at least some stuffing on the beds, and the pillows are lumpy, but they'll make do for you for sure. So you guys are able to sleep, and as you wake up later in the day, just kind of look around, meet some of the people, the workers and things like that. They talk to you about what had happened, and several of them are quite worried. They all say, "Oh, we get out of here as soon as the sun starts to set. We pack up and we make our way out. It's not safe here at night." And there's those kind of general kind of stories. Most of them are nervous, and especially the day laborers do not like to hang around past when their shift is over. They immediately head out and head home. So again, nighttime starts to come. All the day laborers head out. The couple night workers arrive. The night workers seem to be ones that work inside the barn, caring for some of the other livestock and things of that nature. And mostly they act as, it seems like, guards to make sure nobody's coming in and stealing goods and things of that nature. So again, second night begins. You guys are going to do the same thing?
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and, if you'd like to, cast your cantrip one more time.
Oh, you are tricking with my lucky. Let's go.
You can do it.
A 12. So this time, a simple visual effect. So I'll let you create, this, instead of a patch of darkness, this patch of white. It's not making any noise this time, but you're still able to create that same kind of fluffy shape, kind of moving around the base of the tree. All right, tell you what, we'll go ahead and Merlin, roll me a d6 for this night's watch. This night is very quiet. You hear an owl hoot, but no wolves. All right, we'll say that we continue to do this for the next few nights. So that's been 2 nights there. Third night comes along. Hundo, go ahead and roll me a d6. That night goes by quiet. Zavin, go ahead and roll me a d6.
Oops.
Still fairly quiet. So you guys come up to your 5th night here watching, and everything seems to have been quiet. So I'm not sure. You probably even start to think like, this guy, maybe this guy did run off. It's been quiet. You haven't seen any issues whatsoever. So your 5th night comes in to start, and I will have this time Merlin go ahead and roll your cantrip one more time. Oof. Failure on that one. You want to burn 1 point of luck to get up to 12?
Of luck, no. But I'll burn my a spell burn. Yeah, one spell burn.
You have to spell burn ahead of time. Cannot spell burn
okay.
after the fact.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
No
no, I'm not gonna do this now.
All right. So this time your image of the sheep is not there. And as you are settling for the night, feeling a bit more relaxed as nothing's happened recently, we are going to go ahead and move over to the home page really quick, and I'll bring you over, and we will start to set this up.
So far we gained 10 pieces of silver, right?
You guys have gotten so far. He's only paid you so far for your watches, and he's gonna pay you at the end of the week, basically. So when he pays everybody, all of his farmhands, he'll pay you guys as well. So you've earned 5 silver each so far that he will pay you. He just hasn't paid you yet.
Okay. It's 10, right? He promised 2 silver per night.
It was 1 silver per night for the night watch.
Okay.
All right. So we don't have Levi, his familiar, or Pin with us today. So Merlin and Hundo, you are at the tree. Pete, I'm going to set you off to the side here, but you're further back over next to the sheep pen.
Okay.
And we'll say that the sheep pen basically comes across there and there. We'll make that a little bit thicker so it's easier to see. All right. So you've got the tree line out past the fences there, and then we've got the big oak tree that you guys are underneath. So this night, go ahead and everyone can go ahead and roll me an intelligence check. Pete, you'll have a -2 on this as you're much further back. All right. Pete, you got an intelligence check for me?
Intelligence.
All right. Yeah, being much further back, you don't sense anything. Merlin, you pick up on it earlier. You hear like a twig snap in the trees, and it grabs your attention. And as you look out in the dark, you can hear growling coming from the woods to the north. What would you like to do?
I was muted. So, what's his name again? Sorry, I forgot. Is it Pete? No, Pete is him. What is his name again? Sorry.
Hundo?
Hando. I would just like touch Hando's like shoulder, and just point to the direction without saying anything, so he understands what I'm meaning.
All right.
And then I'll try to make some kind of, hand movements to Pete, so he can see the same as well.
All right, so you guys start looking towards the north there, and as you're looking that way, you finally start to see a couple shapes coming out of the woods.
All right. I'm going to shoot an arrow at the closest shape.
All right. All right, so the closest one coming out looks like a large wolf starting to slowly come out of the trees. And a 15, I believe that will definitely hit for 4 points of damage. And that arrow sticks right into the wolf's shoulder, and you hear it howl in pain and kind of dart behind one of the trees. And you see the other creatures dart behind trees as well.
Wolves who know how to use cover. I think I'm going to drop out of the tree at this point.
Okay. So you drop down to the ground. Just give me a quick reflex save. It is dark. Got a bit of moonlight, but that's about it. As you land, you twist your ankle a little bit, but so you lose your balance a little bit, but and your ankle's a little bit sore, but you're okay. Looks like maybe one of the large roots of the tree kind of sticks out, and as you landed, you kind of just twisted on it a little bit, but you're able to stay up at least.
My birth augur was struck by lightning to apply luck to reflex throws, but I did not very lucky.
Yeah. All right. Merlin, you see Hundo jump down and kind of hunch down and get himself ready.
Well, for now I'll stay where I am.
Okay.
Because I have range anyway, so I'll just stay where I am.
So Pete, you see a bit of commotion. You kind of hear the howl of a creature getting hit by something and look over and then see Hundo drop out of the tree. And you can see kind of from where you are that Merlin and Hundo are looking north into the woods.
Okay. I'll start running towards the north part of the fence.
Okay. So I'll say after, it doesn't take you, too long. You gotta make your jog over there. So in the time as Pete is catching up, Hundo, what are you doing? You haven't seen the wolves step back out since you attacked them.
Yeah, I'm searching the tree line, and I'm trying to make a little helpless sheep noise. This
I'm going to transition us to nighttime as well, as it is nighttime.
Crouching low and arrow knocked, looking for a wolf.
Well, I can't see anything.
It's nighttime. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up just slightly because there is some moonlight. So let's bring it up just a little bit, just so you can see some. But it is very dim. Oops. Forgot to hit apply. That helps when you apply it. There we go. So it's very dim out, so your vision is a little bit obscured, but you can see the tree line, you can see shadowed shapes when they do happen to move. You see, as you're looking there, Hundo, trying to spot where this thing is, you see a shadow dart from one tree to another really quick. So it looks like they are out there moving. All right, Pete, you've caught up. You've made it to the base of the tree.
Merlin, do you want to light that lantern?
Is the lantern with me?
The lantern is hanging on the tree, so you could hop down and light it.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. So you go ahead and hop down and light the lantern.
If that scares these wolves off, these are probably not our wolves. It's these wolves.
As you light the lantern, you can see eyes kind of glowing behind some of the trees, next to a bush. And then as that happens, you can spot maybe even a couple more.
Six is a lot. I'm gonna take a bead on these closest eyes. I think that's the same guy I hit before.
Okay.
See if I hit him right. Yeah.
All right, so you're going to have actually, we're going to roll down the dice chain on this one. So for your attack, go ahead and roll me a D16, and then roll your is it a D4 with that as well? So D16 and a D4. That arrow goes sailing off into the trees. All right, Merlin, you see Hundo trying to take another shot at these wolves off in the darkness.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna play with my spells until I have a clear shot to them, so I'm just standing my grounds here.
Okay, Pete?
Yeah, I don't really have any ranged stuff. I will. Can I reach the lantern from the ground?
Yeah. For you, it'd be a little bit of a, just a little bit of a stretch, but it's hanging probably 7 feet up, so you're fine. You can absolutely bring it down.
Okay. I kind of want to be mobile with it, so I'll get the lantern, and then if I have any movement left, I'll just move up.
Okay. So I'll move the torch to you then and douse this other one. All right. So moving forward with the lantern.
Yeah.
All right. As the light moves, you can see 3 of the wolves start darting off around to the east. And it looks like they are trying to circle around. And the other ones kind of move the other direction. All right. Back up to Hundo.
Let's try another arrow.
All right. So same thing.
Jeez.
Launching your arrow, you hear it almost clatter off of one of the trees. So you hit something, but you don't hear a wolf responding. All right, the wolves continue to move and seem to continue circling around. They seem to have approached the fence on the far to the east. And it looks like one of them hops over into the pen.
They're just going to go for the food and ignore us.
Well, let's go to them then.
Well, if they try to drag a sheep, maybe we can trace that. But I don't want to run after one and get surrounded. Let's see. I think we're probably safer at the tree.
Yeah, but if they take the ship, they're just gonna run away, and then we not gonna get anywhere. I can take the light with me, and then we just confront them.
Could you, if they take a sheep, could you illuminate that sheep somehow?
Illuminate the ship.
The ones to the east have hopped over, and they've actually started to move towards you. So you can see the shadowed figures moving in your direction.
Okay, so that's better. Let's leave them calm down. Do you consider now that they are in a clear shot here, Shadow?
You can see the shapes of them, but they are still like beyond your torchlight at night. So you'll still, for this one, I'll let you roll a regular attack, but it'll be -2 as they are a bit closer, but they still are in the dark.
So no, I'm not gonna play with magic with -2. Oh God, there are more here. I didn't see them. Oh Christ. Okay.
Yeah, there's 6. It's a lot. I'd almost be fine if they rounded the tree, because between arrows and magic missiles and flaming strike, we could probably take care of the tree.
Yeah, I'll go up the tree. I'll climb up.
Okay.
How about eat?
They seem to be hanging out and kind of circling you guys now without coming into the torchlight.
So if I go towards them, do these ones back off then?
Yeah, they seem to back up a little bit. Looks like they're trying to stay out of the light.
Intelligence. Okay. Take
Okay,
another.
now I have a good shot.
All right. Hondo, you can roll your regular attack, and we'll just -2. They're no longer in the trees, so it gives you a little bit. They have less cover. All right, with a 12 just hits with 7 points of damage. That arrow sticks straight into the closest wolf, and you see it howl in pain and stumble to the side. It looks like this is the same one you hit earlier, and they starts to sprint off to leap over the fence, but kind of like clips it and then lands on the other side, rolling to a stop and no longer moving. You hear the other ones howl, dart, jump over the fence, and take off into the woods.
It doesn't seem like fierce man-eating wolves, do they? I'm gonna hop over the fence and inspect this one.
Okay.
Is it a normal-sized wolf?
It looks maybe slightly larger than wolves you've seen. This could be due to just they've had a good food source, so they've grown larger. It looked like it was very healthy until you put arrows into it. But other than that, it just looks like a normal wolf.
Are there any distinctive features of werewolves in local mythology?
Go ahead and give me an intelligence check to see if you've heard anything.
Specialty, much okay.
You've definitely heard stories of werewolves. Werewolves themselves have the stories that they walk bipedal, so upright. So they'll have much larger hind legs, and the front arms function more like arms rather than legs, but they can run on all fours if they needed to. Generally, werewolves are solitary creatures. Generally, you've never heard of stories of multiple werewolves together. But you haven't heard any local rumors of there being werewolves nearby. They seem to be more folklore than, historical recollections.
Shadow, I think that now I have a clear shot, right? Because it's on the light.
That's the one that's down. That's the one that's dead.
Oh, it's dead.
Yep.
Okay. So everyone else. Okay, so
Yeah, the other ones howled, and when they saw this one die, leapt over the fence and took off into the woods to the north.
Okay, I'll drop from the tree, and I just want to investigate this wolf. I want to see, search him throughout and just see if there's anything that caught my attention.
Okay, give me another intelligence check. Very good. The 20, looking at it as close as you can, you don't see any scars or wounds on it whatsoever other than the 2 arrows that Hundo have just put into it. So it looks like, it hasn't been in many fights. You're looking at like its jaw and its canines. Its front teeth look maybe a little bit larger than ones that you've seen yourself. You haven't done a lot of hunting and investigation of wolves. But as far as you can tell, this looks like a mundane wolf, a very healthy and well-fed wolf, but can't really identify anything outside of it.
Okay, I will remove. Oh god. I'll remove his fur, maybe one eye, and some of the teeth as well.
Okay. So with your history, you've been taught a little bit about how to, skin and remove certain parts and things like that. So go ahead and give me just an agility check. All right, so you're attempting to skin it first, and it doesn't go very well. You're trying to cut it, and it's just bleeding everywhere. You're cutting it, the patches of fur are coming off terribly. So you're basically are ruining the fur trying to get it off. So you're not able to get anything worthwhile by skinning it. And then you said you wanted to try to get eyes and teeth?
Yeah.
Okay, so next for the eye, go ahead and do another agility check. That one, you're able to remove one of the eyes in pretty good shape. You would have a small vial of some sort to put that in. You don't have any liquid, to preserve it per se, but you're able to get the eye out fairly easily. And then you want to try to get teeth?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. This has got a lower DC, so not that low though. The teeth, you're trying to get the teeth out and realizing that maybe I just don't quite have the right tool for this, so you're not able to pry any of the teeth out of this creature right now.
All right.
All right, Hundo and Pete.
Well, I don't want to run into the darkness after these things, but it doesn't seem like the kind of wolf pack that would be able to drag a van out. Yeah. Well, we could cut off its head and put it on the post of the fence as a warning to the others.
All right, you can definitely do that if you'd like.
We should, if we do want to chase them, I'm not opposed to that, but we should definitely let the farmer know that if they had light sources all along the perimeter of the fence, it would probably deter them.
Maybe so.
All right, so you guys are staying put for the rest of the night?
Yeah.
Okay. Then with that, the rest of the night goes by quiet. As the morning starts to come up, you can go and speak with the farmer. You see him come out and start doing his morning routines as the rest of the farm hands all arrive and start their work as well. How would you like to go?
I'll just come to him and so the problem are some wolves being attacked the farm. We killed one.
Oh, you killed one. They finally came back. Well, I appreciate that. That's a very, very fine work. I will double your wages for the night for taking out one of the wolves.
That's okay. Now, I don't know about the others, but we cannot just live here and spend every single night waiting for them to come. You understand that, right?
Absolutely. If they came last night, perhaps you can follow the trail now. Maybe they've left a fresh trail you could track.
Maybe.
Well,
Does the farmer have anybody that's adept in this stuff, in tracking or going out into the forest?
Give me a luck check. Looks like he doesn't have anyone who's necessarily a hunter or tracker of any kind.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys think. Maybe we run back to town real quick and try to recruit somebody.
Maybe. I don't know. Should I try to just dice it out and see how obvious trail this is in daylight?
You head over to where the wolves had left from, and you can see that there are a fairly good amount of tracks. As they ran away, it looks like they left a good amount of footprints.
All right. Well, I might try to track them. I don't know. Maybe I should take somebody with me. But if you want to go to town too, and I don't know, splitting up is usually a bad idea. I'm gonna try to track these, see how far that'll take me.
Okay.
Just one last thing. Before we start going there, I'm just gonna explain to the farm about the lights and just tell him like that while we are away, search for the wolves. So wherever he put the ships, he put a lot of like light sources there as well. So that should be enough to protect the ships from the wolves for the time being.
Great. I'll have a couple of my farm hands get set up immediately. We'll put some posts around the pen, and see if we can get some additional lanterns out there. Perhaps torches instead. Oil can be a bit expensive to have burning all night, but we'll definitely get some light sources out there to protect. Thank you for letting me know. That's great work. Great work, guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, Hundo, intelligence check to track. Absolutely. As you first come into the trees, you can see about a dozen paw prints just all on top of each other, easily tracking. And you head into the woods following this trail maybe 30, 40 feet. And at that point, you see another trail of the footprints, because remember, they had split up. Some were on the west, some were on the east. It looks like that eastern group comes in and meets with this group and continues off. And you can see now a very, very defined path of footprints leading to the north. As you follow them some more, they begin to bend just a little bit to the east, continuing into the woods.
All right. Well, I keep an eye out on daylight, but I'm going to follow these for a while.
Okay. Merlin, Pete, are you going with him?
What?
Yeah, if he figures he's got a good hold on the track, then we can go.
All right. As you continue on your way into the trees, Hundo, go ahead and roll me 2d6.
Oops. Yes.
All right. Continuing on, everything seems pretty quiet. You maybe hear a frog croaking somewhere off in the distance. You hear, some birds making some, singing a little bit, as it is still fairly early. And you hear Merlin and Pete coming up behind you as well, following you along. Go ahead and give me another intelligence check. As the prints seem to be thinning out just a little bit. They're not as deep, so maybe at this point they've stopped running and they have slowed down. With a 12, you are still able to track them, though. So it looks like the footprints, again, aren't as deep, but so it looks like they slowed down at this point and started taking their time walking back to wherever it is that they were going. You continue making your way. The trail kind of leads around a couple different hills and things like that, and you guys end up following these trails for a good maybe even hour, almost 2 hours now at this point. So roll me 2 more d6 since you're leading the party. All right, again, it all seems quiet. So as you round this final kind of you see this bit of a hill with this large rock on one side, and you start to circle around the rock. And as you circle around the rock, you see what looks like the opening to a cave.
Feels familiar. Right.
How does it smell like from the outside?
Give me an intelligence check to see how much you can smell from where you are.
Okay, give me just a second.
You're fine. You can smell a mustiness coming out of the cave. That kind of smell of wet dog, kind of. But it's just kind of faint on the air.
Okay.
Down Pluto up into the air so that it's revolving around my head in case there's any missile action.
Okay.
Can I take my shard of old mirror and try to get any light into the cave?
Yeah, you could definitely try to do that. Give me another agility check there as you try to line it up with the light coming down through the trees. As you're trying to do that, where the sun is, it looks like it's kind of, you can't really get to an angle where you can get close enough to where the light would shine in there to illuminate.
All right, I'm gonna take a bit of wool, put it at the end of an arrow, and try to just shoot a makeshift fiery arrow into the cave.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a luck check on that. All right, seems to work. So you take a bit of wool, wrap it around the front of the arrow, and light it and launch that into the cave. As it launches into the cave, you see a bit of light going down. It looks like the cave itself goes straight for maybe 15, 20 feet, and then it looks like it kind of starts to slope down to the right. The arrow hits against the ground, and you see the light go out.
Okay. I stand at the entrance of the cave, and I give the most fearsome sheep impersonation ever.
All right, personality check. You feel fairly confident in your bawing, making that sound. As you do that, you hear just slightly. It sounds like a growl deep within the cave. It doesn't sound like it's super close, but you hear something, and it almost sounds like just like kind of like an echo coming through. Almost to the point where you're not sure if it was the echo of what you just did or if it was something else.
So this cave's pretty big. Well, we don't seem to be luring them out. What do you think about going in, guys?
Yep.
Do you have the lantern?
Pete, did you bring the lantern with you?
Good question. I mean, I would have put it. Whose lantern is it? Sorry.
It was the farmer's lantern.
Yeah. I mean, I would have turned it off at daylight, but yeah, I probably would have hung on to it.
Okay, so we'll say you still have the lantern, and it's still got a decent amount of oil in it.
I'll hand it off to Merlin there if you would like to carry it.
Okay.
All right. I'll just put my stuff back on my back. I'm just gonna carry the lantern. I can cast a spell with one hand, right?
Yeah, I can say you can do that.
Okay. Yeah. So let's get in.
All right, so you guys start walking into the cave. Again, you get about 20, 30 feet in, as we say, and it starts to slope down and turn right. At that point, you're losing the light of the day coming into the cave. So you light the lantern?
Yes, please.
Okay. You light the lantern and start making your way in. Go ahead, and who is leading the way then? Is it going to be Hundo, Merlin, or Pete?
Well, not Merlin.
No.
With long sword drawn.
All right, longsword drawn just ahead of the light. You guys start making your way in. Hundo, go ahead and roll me 2d6. All right. You hear as you guys are coming into the cave. It seems to be one just tunnel currently. You do see a couple like maybe really, really small little holes, outlets, it seems. You kind of see like a rat kind of poke its face out at, looking at the light, and as soon as the light comes across it, it kind of scurries back into its hole. So it seems to be that there are some rats and things like that down here as well. As you start making your way in, that smell of wet dog is a little bit stronger. But other than that, everything seems to be quiet. You might hear a rock skitter across the ground somewhere beyond your sight every once in a while. Go ahead and roll me 2 more d6. This time, as you guys are moving along, the light seems to disturb a small group of bats that immediately take flight further down into the cave. And you can hear the batting of their wings echoing up the cave as they go down further into the darkness. And you guys continue making your way. 2 more d6.
Sorry, was it the toilet? So what happened?
You guys just making your way in. You've come across some rats and some bats that have fled from your torchlight.
Okay.
The rats kind of went back into their own little holes. The bats fled down the tunnel further. And this time, you guys continue on your way and don't really see anything else at this point. The smell of wet dogs getting stronger and stronger. And as you're getting further down, you start to smell that sharp, sour smell of rot a little bit. Not super strong, but just a little bit. And with that, I'm going to take you guys to the next map. And you have the torchlit Merlin. So as you guys are continuing, you guys start making your way into a cave. The cave begins to open up a little bit. You can see that there are, as you are there, so go ahead and stop where you are once you get there, Hundo. You can see that there are some large rock columns that seem to hold up the roof of this cave chamber that is opening up to your right and left. You can see that there are basically like tiers, like levels to this cave. So small little cliffs. They're probably maybe 3-4 feet high at most. And they're starting to kind of climb up as this cave opens up wider and wider. You can kind of see off to the sides that there are possibly some additional kind of cave holes that are a little bit larger now. These looking to be maybe 3-4 feet, almost just smaller caves that lead off from this large chamber. The dome kind of roof here opens up to about 40 feet high. You can see small piles of bones and maybe some small rotting carcasses or what's left over of some other dead animals around inside. And as you guys step into the chamber, you can kind of hear the echoing sound of growling starting to come off, echoing through this chamber.
Well, if we lure them back into the tunnel, that'd probably be operable, but I don't think. Should we seek high ground here?
Yeah.
You're 4 feet high?
Yeah, they're like 3 to 4 feet high.
Let's scramble up the first one here and try to get on some high ground.
Okay. All right. As you guys start to climb up there, you can see, kind of get to this first little cave there. Trying to peer inside. It looks like it goes back maybe 15, 20 feet and kind of dead ends. And again, the smell of wet dog is even stronger inside there. And you can hear the growling starting to pick up a little bit.
Let's get up on this high one here, guys.
All right. As you guys step up there, suddenly, darting out of these 2 cave entrances, are 2 wolves. They go sprinting past you, clawing at you as they go by. So they're going to make an attack versus Hundo and Merlin. So the first attack versus Hundo. That is only a 14, which I believe misses Hundo, correct?
Let's see.
And the second one's a 14 versus Merlin, which I believe hits.
It does hit, yeah.
All right. So 3 points of damage there to Merlin. as the wolves go sprinting past you, slashing at you with their claws, and darting off into the cave. Howling as they go.
No initiatives, no.
We're gonna go ahead and start initiative here. As they came darting out of there, that was kind of their surprise attack. So now we're gonna go ahead and go into initiative. So you guys can go ahead and roll your initiative. Wolves rolled well. All right. So with that, you see them dart off into the darkness, trying to get outside of your torchlight. You see another wolf begin coming out of the cave up here. You see some more kind of eyes kind of gleaming in the darkness. And you can hear growling and howling going off, starting to echo through this chamber now. All right, with that, they all start stepping out. And this one is going to charge forward at you, Hundo, and attempt to attack you.
So they're coming up the 3 to 4 foot edge.
Yeah, this one bounds up. It jumps up and leaps up there in like a single leap. Leaps up onto the level that you're at and immediately tries to swipe at you. But it seems to lose its balance. Its back paw kind of slips down the back behind it. So as it goes to swipe at you, it comes up short and misses. And the other ones seem to be circling around in the darkness. So Pete, you are up.
I'm going to pull out my Warhammer and approach the one that's just came up here.
Okay.
And try to hit.
A 9 will miss. As you go to swipe at it, it's agile and kind of darts out of the way, kind of the other side of Hundo. So you're not able to make contact with that strike. All right, Hundo.
All right. So am I using... I guess I'm trying to decide whether to use sword or bow. Is he 3 or 4 feet down from me? Like, do I have to jump down?
He's right in front of you now. He leapt up to your level, and as he went to swipe at you, he just came up a little bit short. But he's still right in front of you.
Trusty Rusty.
9. You go to slash at it, and it too darts and dodges out of the way. Your sword hitting nothing but air.
Okay.
All right, Merlin.
Okay. I'm gonna cast. Oh shit! I just didn't know. Just a second. 15. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna cast Flaming Hands.
Okay.
So let's see.
Very good. All right, so you don't see any other enemies, but you can definitely hit this wolf. So go ahead and roll me the 2d6. So 9 points of damage, and you see this fire. Hundo, suddenly, like, you're bringing your sword back up to defend yourself, getting ready for this wolf to attack you, and suddenly fire seems to just engulf you and circle around both sides of you, coming back together in front of you, and then just emulating this wolf. It lights in fire, howls in pain, and tries to dart away, but then comes to a stop on the ground, no longer moving.
Do we get some extra illumination from its burning body?
You know what? I will say you do. So as it's on fire, its fur burning. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Stay at night. Need a light source. There we go. It is on fire currently. And I will have Merlin go ahead and roll me a d6. That will burn for 4 rounds.
Nice.
All right. Any movement from you, Merlin, or staying put?
I'll move here.
Okay. All right, with that, the wolves are up. You hear the howling echoing through the chamber. And at this point, it's going to have to use, all of its movement. Another one comes darting down, jumps down from one platform, sprints across, and leaps up in front of you.
I've definitely tried to be between wolves and Pete and Merlin.
All right. Another one comes sprinting out of the darkness and hops up. And it looks like another one's going to be jumping up here behind Merlin, but not quite able to get to you. So we're going to have one strike versus Hundo and one strike versus Pete as these wolves come charging forward. So versus...
Hundo, what is our AC?
16.
So Hundo first.
Nice.
That is a 21 for 2 points of damage as this one jumps up and attacks at Hundo.
Why did I ask?
And versus Pete, that is a 16 versus Pete. That just hits your AC. So 4 points of damage as this one's claws slash at you. All right. You hear movement in the cave, but can't see any of the other ones as they seem to be circling around in the dark. All right. Pete, you are up.
All right. I'm going to try to hit that one just north of Hundo there.
Definitely hits for 1 point of damage. You smack it with your warhammer, and you hear it let out a cry of pain, but it still seems to be standing. All right, Hundo.
All right. I try to take the head of the one that's attacking Pete.
Okay.
Yeah.
A 12 is just enough. So as it takes the hit, it immediately tries to leap back at Pete, but you're able to bring your sword up, slashing across its throat, and it too goes stumbling down the small little hill there, and its head flops one way, its body flops the other, and that one is down. All right, Merlin.
Can I, with a free action, just put the lantern on the floor?
Yeah, we can say you can do that. You can put that down. So I'll go ahead and change that light source to a lantern on the ground.
And then I'll take my staff and attack this wolf.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. You step forward, and as this wolf is coming at you, smack it hard right across the face. You hear it howl in pain, and you see it starting to limp away and eventually stop moving.
And I will... Sorry, I will move here.
Okay. All right. With that, I'm going to roll... Okay. With that, the wolves are up, and the wolf that is still there is going to take a bite at Hundo. Ooh, that almost sat on the 20, but 10 will miss as it tries to bite you. And you again hear scurrying off in the cave. But don't see them yet. All right, Pete, you're up.
Okay. That one to the left, Hundo's alive, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll move there, and then try to hit that one.
With a 3, you move, and in the dim light in here, you kind of lose your balance. You almost slip down the little decline there. So as you lose your balance, your swing goes wild over the wolf, unable to make contact. Hundo.
Ooh, that good.
The wolf, seeing your attack coming, dodges out of the way, and your swing as you come slams into the stone column there. All right, Merlin.
If I'm in this square here, can I attack the wolf?
Yeah, I'll have you have a -1 on that, just because you're kind of going between the column and where Hundo is.
Okay, I'm gonna attack the wolf.
A 13
12,
will
so-
hit, or 12, yeah, 12 will still hit. That's just what their AC is. So he will take 2 points of damage as you smack him right in the face as he goes to attack Hundo again. You see him kind of stutter back a little bit and glare at you.
Merlin the Mauler. Check that out.
I'm so afraid of casting spells, so I will only last resort.
All right. With that, the wolves are back up. This one is going to attempt to swipe at you and then run away. So he is going to swipe at you and miss as he's trying to dart away. With that, the three of you together, I'll let you take one opportunity attack against him. Whoever wants to take it, let me know.
Can I? No, not on me. Hondo. Fuck yeah.
All right, it darts away, and you slash at its back, and it howls in pain and collapses to the ground. All right. With that, the scurrying sound of wolves in the distance, you suddenly hear and see them jump out of the darkness and attack. As they bound past you, they swipe and run. And so with this, you're not going to get opportunity attacks, but they're going to basically attack you at a -2 as they are quickly darting in and out of combat. Out of the darkness, into the light, attack you, and then back out into the darkness. That was it. Alright, so that's going to be one attack against each of you. These attacks will be -2 from whatever I roll. So versus Pete at the top, that is 17, I think hits, right?
Isn't that -2?
Yeah, -2. I rolled a 19, so it'd be 17.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the list then, yeah.
Okay. Then versus Hundo. Ooh, he loses his natural 20. I'm not going to have him have his crit because he's running through there. It's a -2. So it'll just be the 3 points of damage from that. And then versus Merlin. That one's only going to be a 7 total. So Merlin is safe as it attacks him and misses. And those wolves go darting back off into the darkness, sprinting through. All right, Pete, you're up.
I gotta try to cure myself here.
Okay.
No.
Failure on that one. All right. Any movement, Pete, or are you going to stay where you're at?
No, I'll stay there.
Okay. Then, Hundo, you are up.
I'm going to light a torch and throw it 30 feet west.
Okay. All right. Just go ahead and give me a agility check. That'd basically be you throwing the torch. Oh, yeah. You're very confident in that. So then all I need from you is a luck check. Oof.
No.
So you see it, it's going to light up as you throw it. You see the cave kind of illuminate all this area here. You can see kind of off to the north, there are 3 wolves up to the north. And as the torch hits against this large stone pillar, it drops to the ground and goes out. All right. Movement or stay where you're at?
I'm going to get right to the edge of the precipice here.
Okay.
Come for me.
All right. With that, Merlin, you are up.
I will just try to protect myself, like, so, mm, for now I'm just gonna move here and hope nobody attacks from this side here. Yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Can I use my action to ready an action?
Yeah, I can allow you to do that.
Okay, so if I have a clear shot, I'm gonna cast magic missile.
Okay, no problem. You begin casting the magic missile and holding the energy in your hands.
Okay, do you want me to hold out to roll now? Yeah, I should roll now actually, right? Because if
Yeah.
I fail, I fail.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um,
Nice.
So you'll do at least a point of damage against one target, and if the one comes out of the darkness. All right. At this point, you hear a larger howl. This one sounds much different than the other wolves that you have heard, and it echoes through the cave. It's much deeper volume than these other wolves. All right. As that echoes through the cave, let me see how many are there.
I reply with my just, "Whoa."
All right. The 3 wolves from the north are going to come sprinting back into the fight. As you guys are at the edge, they kind of leap up and swipe at you. So again, not coming fully into combat. They're going to have a -2 on this. So
and they take 1 point of damage, one.
You'll launch it 1 and it'll take its 1 point of damage. Absolutely. So we'll have this first one that comes up and attacks at Hundo, gets blasted with that bolt. All right. So its attack becomes a 13. That bolt knocking it back makes it a 12, so it misses and it goes darting back off into the darkness. All right. The next one charges forward, and the next one charges forward. And they will make their attacks versus Hundo, as you're the one up standing to the edge there. That is a 17. I think just hits. Yep. So that'll be 3 points of damage to Hundo. Catches you right across the shin. What's that?
No, I'm asking Hondo. He's not dying, right?
Nah, he's still looking all right.
Alright.
One.
And the last one is going to miss. Doesn't quite make it up the little, hill there, the little ledge. So those 3 attacks, they swipe, and run. All right.
And no fight backs, huh?
Yeah, as they're swiping, they're coming out of the darkness. It's still very dark in here. The torches aren't, lighting up too much. They're running in, attacking, and running back out quickly. So they're basically just hitting you on a flyby. All right, Pete.
I'm gonna try to cure myself again.
Oh, sh.
I think for that one, you can burn a point of luck if you want to get up to 2 dice of healing.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so bring your disapproval back down to 2, and you can burn a point of luck, and then you can spend 2 hit dice. So again, for you, that is a D8.
There's a button I can click on character sheet.
Yep.
I guess it was 2, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'm full then.
Okay. All right, so Pete's able to heal himself. Staying where you're at?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I am going to say, though, that these things are just going to pick us apart if we just stay here. We're going to do something different.
Yeah, it doesn't make it like. Should we back up into these cubbies behind us here? See if they'll attack us there.
Yeah, we can do that, or we can sit here and just ready our actions. So anytime they come close, we just club them one at a time.
Can we do that?
Absolutely.
You ready for it? Okay. Well, I'm going to, crouch and be ready with my
Okay,
sword.
so you prepare your sword to swing at one. All right, Merlin?
Yeah, I'm gonna prepare as well. So what I'm going to do is, when the pack comes, I'm gonna cast Flaming Hands.
Okay.
So the pack, okay. So if only one comes, I'm not gonna cast. If more than one comes, I'll cast.
All right. With that, then 3 again are going to come. So one comes darting out of the darkness, another comes out of the darkness, and one more comes out of the darkness. All right. So with that, I will let Merlin. You can go ahead and do your flaming hands.
Okay.
A 13. So you're going to blast one target for a D3 points of damage.
Okay. Hondo, you choose this one or this one.
Though
You got one more down here.
Oh.
No, yeah, but it's better for me to cast in one that you guys will attack.
Okay.
Because you can finish. So let's go this one here on the top.
Okay, not a problem.
Chapa.
2 points of damage. And you see its fur sort of singe from that, and it howl in pain. So Hundo, you can go ahead and attack one.
And I attack the one to my left here.
Okay.
Nice.
Absolutely. You just cleave through this one, and it doesn't even howl in pain. It just goes down. All right. And then the other one is going to jump up and attack, but as it takes the flame, it will have another -2 on this attack. So it misses. As it takes the flame, it swipes wildly and then tries to run away again into the dark. All right, this last wolf is going to come forward and attempt to attack at Merlin. So again, a -2 as it's darting in and out of attack. That is only a 5. It darts by and then takes off along the wall, back off into the darkness.
But this one I can give an attack opportunity, right? Because he was just by the lantern.
You were holding your action to do that, so it's darting in and out.
Okay,
it's not giving
sense,
you opportunities. Yeah, it's kind of like a flyby kind of idea.
All right. Makes sense. Okay.
It's not opening itself up to attacks. So at this point, you now hear coming from the north the echoing sound of what sounds like metal digging into the stone wall. Just this scraping sound of something digging into the stone wall to the north as that howling continues. All right. The wolves did their actions, so we're back up to Pete.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold my action to attack if one comes by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hundo, same thing.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to come so I can zap them here.
All right, Merlin, what are you preparing this time?
Same deal.
Okay. All right. So this time, all 3 of them come bounding back into attack.
God, how many wolves do we have here?
So we can start with our spellcaster.
I'm testing my luck so much here. Okay.
Burns a single target for 1d6.
Now this one here that I'm targeting, it already took damage, right?
Yeah, you can tell that this is the one that is singed.
All right, so it's gonna take 1 point damage. Okay.
1 more point of damage. Well, that's all the health it has left. So you are able to finish off that wolf. And it collapses. As it's sprinting forward, it doesn't even make it up the hill because your fire hits it before it has a chance to leap, and it goes down. All right, that one's down. Next one comes in. Oops. I did say it was dead, not hit. Okay. So, Pete, we can have you let out an attack, but as this one jumps up towards you and Hundo. 9 will miss. As you go to swipe, you misjudge and swing too early and hit nothing but air. Good.
I got a just random question. I have a fleeting luck still. I think.
Absolutely.
Would that do anything here?
Getting up to 10 wouldn't get you there.
No. Okay.
No.
No worries then.
All right, Hundo.
Yeah. All right. Wonder if there's an infinite supply of wolves here, but it's
There's a wolf
Nice.
generator in the
15 for 8 points of damage. As this one comes up, it leaps at you with its mouth open, and your sword goes straight through its mouth, out the back of its head, and this one goes down. You guys are making quite the pile there.
Go easy on me, Shadow. Come on.
-2 as it tries to dart in and out. It's a
I'm
19 for a total of 17. 4 points of damage. We see our
I'm down.
wizard let out a pain cry and collapse to the ground as the wolf darts back off into the dark. All right, that was all of the wolves this turn. The scraping sound along the walls has stopped, and you hear stomping coming in your direction. All right, Pete. You see Merlin drop. You hear a thud behind you as Merlin drops to the ground.
All right. I'm gonna try to lay on hands and get him alive.
Again, want to burn 1 point of luck?
I suppose.
He is lawfuls as well, so it will be a 2-hit dice.
All right, there. No luck.
So you should be, your disapproval, I got to take your disapproval back down to 2. You got it there? Disapproval should be 2. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so 2 hit dice. So that is 2d4 of healing. Four points of health. All right. And Merlin, you feel the light suddenly quickly come back in. You feel it fade to darkness. You thud to the ground, and then your eyes immediately open back up as Pete rushes to your aid.
Just a quick reminder, do I lose any point of attribute? I don't remember.
No, because you didn't even go a full round down. You, not even close to a full round. I usually don't have you lose points of attributes unless you go a full round down.
Okay.
He got you up quick enough. All right, Hundo.
I'm going to take my last flask of oil and throw it in the direction of these stomping feet.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another agility check.
Man, I really like this blood splash that we have here.
A 5. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and roll a d8 to see kind of where that ends up. You go to throw it, and it kind of lands a little bit off from where you wanted to, but I'll put a little circle here. There is now an oil spill in that circle there.
It doesn't ignite?
If you threw it off into the darkness, there wasn't a light source.
Oh,
it's just oil. Yeah.
Molotov cocktail.
Oh, you have like the Molotov cocktail style one? Still? Because that's different. A flask of oil and a Molotov cocktail are different.
Well, I suppose they are, but I was trying to see if I could light it to throw it as a grenade.
I could say you can spend one action to take your oil flask and put a piece of cloth in there and get it ready, and on your next turn you can light it and throw it.
All right, let's do that.
Okay, so you'll spend your action to make yourself a makeshift Molotov. Yeah. All right, Merlin.
Already, flaming hands.
Okay. As you do that, you hear the stomping continue, and it sounds like it's moving a little bit more southern towards the cave entrance that you guys originally came in.
Also, can I move to this square here?
Absolutely. I'll move you since you're out of turn. There you go. All right. Whatever it is seems to be circling around to the south. Pete, you are up.
Okay. I have an oil flask as well.
Okay.
Can I take a turn to make another, or as well? I guess.
Absolutely.
Cocktail.
Yep. All right, Hundo, back up to your turn. You hear the whatever those large footsteps are circling around the cave to the south.
Okay. I'm going to take a little jog to the south and then try to throw it.
Okay. We're going to do a couple different things. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check first to see, kind of judge where the sound is and where it is moving to.
Never my forte.
All right. You got a pretty good sense of where it's at. So now you can make your agility check, and I'll give you a +2 on this.
Oops, I'm sorry. That's wrong.
That's fine.
Strength.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll still go with your first roll. That's fine. We'll use your D20. So you rolled an 11. You got a +0 from agility, so you come up to a 13. 13 gives you a pretty good throw there, so you feel pretty confident in it. So we'll go ahead and I will say you throw that, and as it hits, it lights up the cave. But from where you're standing, you see the light hit and this fire start. But from where you're standing, you don't see anything else moving.
Invisible Cyclops. That's my guess.
All right, Merlin.
So the wolf didn't show up yet, right?
Nope. Nothing else has come out. Nothing else has attacked. You hear stomping of footprints and down to the south, kind of circling around the far wall of the cave to the south.
Alright, so I'm still 15 feet from Hundo, but okay, so I have to move one. Sorry, I'm gonna move one here, and I'm gonna prepare my flaming hands.
Okay.
Matter of fact, sorry, do we still hear a pack or just one single creature?
At this point, it sounds like one single creature.
Alright, so I'm gonna ready sleep.
All right. All right. With that, then.
Pile of corpse. I wonder. That would guard our flank.
All right. With that, on their turn, you hear the footprints, the heavier footprints, start moving back to the north. And at this point, the wolf that was on fire up above, that light has gone out. And I'm going to make a note here how long your Molotov cocktail will last. Okay. All right.
Can you both like close on me so I don't I just want to make sure that I'm not gonna get the hit.
Yeah.
Because maybe he can come from here. They're probably gonna kill me.
All right, Pete,
Yeah.
you are up.
I'll move in front over here. Looking down towards the entrance, do I see anything?
You don't see anything currently. You hear, looks like maybe just to the north of where your vision is, where that light is. Again, the claw, like scraping sound of something against a stone column. And the low guttural growl.
Okay, I'm gonna. I think I'll put away my warhammer for a second, take out my staff, and then cast blessing.
Okay. You've just not been having luck with your casting today.
No, I don't. Not even worth doing the D4. That's not good.
Yeah. He hits okay with his hammer, but every time he goes to spell, it's just always under 10.
If I could ask, just out of curiosity, because I'm seeing this disapproval range increased to 3. What does that mean?
So for the cleric in DCC, basically his critical fail goes up each time he fails a spell cast. So now if he rolls a 1 through 3, it's considered a critical fail, and he has to roll on the cleric's disapproval table. And the way that works is for every level of disapproval, he rolls 1d4. And that all is additive to basically increase his roll on that roll table for cleric disapprovals. So it could be anything from he has to immediately stop and pray, or he loses a spell for the day, or anything. All sorts of stuff. Yeah. All right. So with that, you try to pull out your staff and focus on your blessing, but the darkness here just seems foreboding and overwhelming, and it kind of throws you off a little bit from your prayer, and your spell does not go off. All right, Hundo.
I'm gonna drop another torch onto. We've got like 4 wolf bodies here. See if I can't alight them a little bit and get us some more light.
All right, so you still got a torch to use?
I do. Let's see what I'm down to. I don't think I took that last one off, but let's see. Yeah, I started the day with 6. Now I'm at 4.
Okay. So you move over and try to drop one of those torches on the wolves. See if you can catch them a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and give me a luck check. You drop the torch, and I'll say you're able to drop it on top of them so it doesn't go out, but you are able to light the torch, and so one torch gets lit up. But it doesn't catch any of the wolves on fire.
All right.
Now suddenly you hear another loud howl. This one sounds very, very angry.
Well, how are you on hit points now, Pete?
Full.
Okay. And Merlin?
I only have 6 hit points, so there's no. I'm either dead or alive. It's relative to my hit points. I have 4, but anything kills me 1 hit. So.
Well, yeah. If you want to try to do some healing on me, if I get a little higher, maybe I'll jump out there and try to confront whatever's out there.
Okay. Well, then on Merlin's turn, you are up.
Just a second. I just want to check one thing. Okay. Yeah, I'll get ready for sleep. So it's a 60 range. So even if he goes and attack, I can hit. So yeah, I'll prepare the sleep spell.
Okay. Perfect. All right. On their turn, you hear these stomping footprints pick up a pace. They sound like they're circling around to the north. And then suddenly, coming into the light, you see a large bipedal wolf-like creature. It's got these massive shoulders and arms. It's got this large mane going down the back of its head. Its face is not quite as long as a normal wolf's face, but it's got these massive jaws and teeth and long fingers with these massive razor-sharp claws. It's bounding forward on all fours, and as it comes closer into the light, it steps up and stands up tall. It's probably a good 9 feet tall. Bounding on his large legs, it is going to leap forward to attack at Hundo. Merlin, I'll let you go ahead and cast your spell.
All right, so Okay, help me here, Shadow, so I'm not doing wrong. So I want to burn 4 points of strength to cast with the spell burn.
Okay, so on the left side of your strength, you'll drop that down to 6.
Okay.
And so now just go ahead and cast the spell like normal, and then we'll just add 4 to it.
Sorry, can I only use strength, or can I burn personality as well?
You can only burn your physical stats, so strength, agility, and stamina.
All right. And then I just cast the spell as normal, and that's gonna be +4, right?
Yep.
But how do I add the +4 before I roll?
Just roll it, and then we'll move it up the table, because you can just click on the table to move up to the next level if it gets you up to the next level. So just cast like normal.
Okay.
So that is a 10, so that will put you up to 14. So a 14 puts you into up to 2 targets within range must save or fall asleep for 1d6 turns. Targets can be awakened through normal means. All right, so that's a 14. So I'm going to go into your wizard spells and mark that sleep is not lost because it did go off. So he needs to make I believe it's a will save versus that. It doesn't say specifically, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a will save. So he's going to make a will save to try to save against that. And then he's got to beat a 14. He rolls a 16. So with a 16, he is going to save. You can see him charging forward, leaping, and as you cast your spell, it doesn't seem to take any effect, and he will get his 1 attack off against Hundo. 1 slashing attack. That's an 18 for 4 points of damage as his claws dig through, getting past Hundo's armor, slashing into him. And this large creature now bounds up. Actually, it would be down here. So basically slashes at him and then drops back down to the lower level. So he's just underneath you, Hundo, standing at the bottom edge of that ledge. I'm going to get rid of the blood there just so you can see kind of where the edge is. All right. That is it for its turn. Pete, you are up.
All right, Hundo needs some healing, so we'll give that a shot. Dainthar doesn't have a lot of power in this cave, so let's hope.
He should. Salt.
It's a non-iron, gems kind of cave. All right, 2 dice of healing. So that's 2d12.
Am I rolling that?
Yep, go ahead.
I thought he was chaotic, wasn't he? Wouldn't he be opposed?
Oh yeah, he is opposed. So sorry, that is only 1 dice of healing. That's right. You're chaotic. Thank you.
And then I don't know again if it gives you sin or not. That's your call.
Let's see here. So 13 points of healing. I think that
That
gets you
doesn't
back
make
up to
any-
full.
Out of dice.
What was that? Oh, that was a D14. You need to roll D12.
Yeah.
All right, 3 points of healing. All right.
Can I?
Pete, go ahead and give me give me a personality check. Yeah, 1 level of disapproval on that one.
Okay.
All right. And then stay and put where you're at.
Sorry, are you adding the disapproval or am I?
I can go ahead and do that for you really quick. Okay, done. All right. So stay now.
I'll stay here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Hundo, you are up. This large werewolf has now stepped forward and swiped at you. Pete's
I'm
healed you a little bit.
I'm jumping off the 4-foot cliff
Okay.
with Rusty, double-handed, trying to go straight for the heart with my magic sword.
All right. Go ahead and roll. We're gonna have you roll up the dice chain. So go ahead and roll a. No, I'll just have you have a +2. So whatever your attack is, I'll add +2 to it. So that's 10, 12 on the attack. That will just miss.
We'll add my fleeting luck.
Okay, perfect. That'll get you there. 13 is the AC. Burning that fleeting luck, your sword comes down and digs straight into the creature's chest, doing a good amount of damage. But as you dig the sword into the creature grabs your hand around the hilt and pulls it out, and you can see the wound almost immediately begin to heal some.
Oh.
So the creature's healing.
Yeah.
It's going to be... It just didn't take full damage from that.
Okay.
All right. So you are down next to it now.
Yeah.
And Merlin, you're up.
What time of the day it is right now?
At this point, you'd be into probably mid to late afternoon, so still daytime.
Okay. Okay, I'll cast Flaming Hands on this gigantic wolf.
Just enough. Go ahead and roll that D3 of damage. So 2 more points of damage as flames engulf it. And you see the back of it kind of singe a little bit. Some of the hair on its mane there.
Yeah, I'm gonna move here.
All right. And with that, we are back up to the wolf. The wolf is going to, as it pulls the blade out of its chest, it has a hold of your hand. It's going to swipe at you, or actually, it's going to attempt to bite you right now. That is a 15, which I believe just misses. As it goes to bite you, you pull out of its hand and drop, because it was like holding you up in the air. You drop to the ground as it goes to bite, and as you hear its teeth just clatter together. This loud sound as it bites at you, but it misses. All right, with that, we're back up to Pete.
All right. Before I take an action, that wound, I see that wound starting to close up.
Yeah, as it pulls the blade out, it just like a little bit of the cut kind of comes back together. The wound is still there, but it definitely seems like it takes less damage from... Actually, never mind. You're a +1 sword, huh? So it would have taken all of that damage. That's right.
+1 sword, yeah. Magic sword.
That is right.
I also have 5 silver arrows if I lose control of that sword.
All right. So with that, yeah, the wound isn't actually healing at all. He pulls the sword out, but it doesn't heal at all.
Never mind that. I was going to do an int check on the thing's healing, but never mind. I'll just jump down by Hondo here.
Okay.
And I think the 3 he rolled on his dice was probably not super good, so we're going to try another lay on hands.
All right, a super good healing on this one. So this time it seems that your healing is blessed. So go ahead and you can roll 2d12 this time. And no disapproval on this one.
All right, I'll do that. It's 2. Nice.
13 points of healing gets you back up to max. So you're back up to max health.
Happy day.
And it's your turn.
All right, am I in control of my sword?
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right, going for the coup de grace here. Try to take his head.
Ooh, good. A 19. You slash at its head, but because it's so tall, it rears itself up, and your blade cuts deep across his chest. for another 9 points of damage. And you hear it howl in pain from that one. All right, Merlin.
I'm gonna cast Slip again.
All right. Oof. Failure on that one. You want to burn 1 point of luck to get up to a 12?
Now, just one thing that I just want to understand. Why am I casting with no attributes or caster level or anything?
Yeah, it seems broken. He should have a plus.
Yeah, he
level
should.
rating.
Good call. It should be a +5 because of your intelligence, plus level, plus your birth augur. That's right. So yeah, you should be a +5. Not sure why that didn't go off. So sleep would have gone off, so that should be a +5. So that would put you at a 11. That puts you at a 16. So 16, it has to make a 16 will save. It does get a save. All right, so one more time on the save, and I'll go into your spells and see why that's not working later.
All right.
All right. Oof! Natural 1. It howls in pain as it looks like it's about to attack at Hundo one more time. Suddenly its claws reach out, and then you see it kind of stumble a little bit, and its arms go limp, and you see its eyes start to close, and it kind of sways back and forth and collapses to the ground. Go ahead and roll a d6. It is going to be asleep for 50 minutes, 5 turns.
And the moment that I cast this, you hear this big roar come from my belly, as like I'm extremely hungry, and I look pretty pissed because I just lose like 2 points of personality until I eat again. So
All right, the werewolf seems to be down. All right, at this point, you hear now, with this thing being no longer moving, you do still hear footprints somewhere else in the cave.
I light a torch and charge after that sound.
All right. So Pete's up first. So Pete, what are you doing?
I just want to ask Merlin, since he put it to sleep, or it looks like comatose. I'm just going to ask him, like, what happens if we damage it or try to hurt it right now?
I have no idea. I'm just a student.
No. Okay. Since he's not moving, I'm going to take that flask, that Molotov cocktail that I made earlier, and just, I don't know, maybe put it in his mouth and smash it.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so you put the flask in his mouth and smash it. So now he's got oil all over his face and in his mouth.
It was a Molotov cocktail. So
did you light it first?
Oh well, yeah. I guess I should do that too. I have flint and steel, so I can light it and do that.
All right, you light it, place it in its mouth, and then just slam it with your warhammer to shatter it. All right. Go ahead and I'll say you can do that. It's not moving. So it is going to go off. I'm going to need a reflex save from Hundo and Pete. You guys are going to have to try to beat a 14 as you're standing right there. Pete will fail.
That makes sense. I'm standing over it.
You're the one smashing it. You both fail. So we are going to say that lets off a d6 of fire damage. So you're each going to take 2 points of damage, as does the wolf. And I'll apply it to both of you guys. Or do you guys already apply it?
I already took it.
Okay. Hundo, I got yours. All right. With that, the fire explodes in the wolf's mouth, and it howls. All of a sudden, you see its eyes immediately light up, and it tried to howl out in pain, but there's now broken glass in its mouth. And it looks quite angry as it's now on its back, flailing, trying to get up. All right, Hundo. Your Pete's your cleric buddy there just put a Molotov in it and smashed its smashed it. You caught a little bit of the splashback from that, and the wolf is now moving again.
Yeah, I don't think I can afford to leave that one. So I'm going to chop its head off.
All right. It is prone, so I'll give you an additional +2 on the stack. Oof.
Oh.
Natural 1. You should have maintained your armor. The joints in your armor seize up, freezing you in place. You cannot move or make attacks for 1d3 rounds. I'll roll that for you. So just 1 round. As you are currently, your armor kind of somehow sticks a little bit as you go to attack. All right. Merlin.
I'm gonna try to burn, so I'm gonna cast my flaming hands.
Okay. All right. See, that worked.
Ooh.
That gave you your +5 like you should. Okay, so 20 produces a blast of fire that burns up to 3 targets within range for 1d6 plus caster level. So go ahead and that is going to
3
be
points.
3 points of damage. All right. That 3 points of damage was all that he seemed to have left. As the fire engulfs him, he's already on fire from the Molotov. There was probably a little bit of oil still on him and like in his mouth that wasn't on fire. This fire engulfs that, and you see his like almost like he's breathing fire as these flames erupt from inside his mouth and engulf his head. And he goes stumbling backwards, flailing about wildly, trying to put the fire out. He's finally able to douse the flames, and as he starts to scurry and crawl away into the dark, you see the patches of fur on his body start to fall off. Just clumps of matted fur that's all singed and bloody and burnt, falling off, leaving behind what looks like normal skin. And it's crawling away into the darkness, and as it just gets out of the light, it stops moving, and all you see kind of in the darkness now is the back foot of what looks like a human person. All right, on the wolf's turn, this last wolf comes barreling out of the dark one more time and is going to pounce at Hundo. That's going to be an 18 for 2 points of damage. And Pete, you're up.
Okay. I guess I will. Probably got my staff over right now still, probably. I guess I'll just hit it with that. Or try.
Try. You go to swing, and the wolf darts out of the way. Hundo.
Kill the wolf with the sword.
And that will do it. 7 points of damage. You slash at this thing, and down it goes. No longer moving. All right. At that, I'm going to go ahead and end the combat. And you guys, the
I just can't
cave
believe
now
you survived
seems
this.
silent.
I'm going to straight up investigate this guy here.
All right. You go over to him, and I'm assuming you guys can bring the torchlight and things like that, so I'm just going to light you guys up as you're, pick up the torch on your way. Go ahead.
I recovered my 2 torches that didn't burn there.
All right, perfect.
And I don't think I've got any arrows out there, too.
All right. So as you go to investigate the now human, it looks like he was fairly young, maybe in his early 20s. Looking at the body, you can see on his left shoulder, like his entire kind of neck to shoulder area, there is a large bite wound that looks like it had healed up. So you see the scar of this bite wound that basically took in his entire shoulder. And from that, you can see almost strange veins, coming off of that are all healed up. And you see, the skin is kind of singed, and you see the hole in his chest where where Hundo had stuffed the sword into him. You see a slash across his chest where Hundo cut across his chest, and the body is seemingly motionless. But as you come to him, he coughs just a little bit and reaches out and like grabs you by your robes and says, "Thank you." And you see him lose consciousness once more.
Is his face recognizable enough that if we took his head back to the shepherd, he would know this was one of his guys?
Absolutely.
Are you taking his head?
Well, I'm thinking about it just because so that we can identify him as one of the missing shepherds.
Looking at him now, he is fairly thin. You'd guess he probably weighs maybe 140, 150 pounds tops.
Is he dead?
Yeah, you believe so. Once he lost consciousness again, you don't hear any breathing and, don't see his chest moving at all.
A werewolf? That's so rare.
Should we, or I guess maybe an intelligence check needed here, but do we need to check Hundo? Do I need to look at his wound? Because didn't he get bit?
He got clawed. I don't think he actually took the bite.
Okay, if he didn't get bit, it's probably fine, but maybe just check him out anyway. I don't know.
Absolutely. You can try to do an intelligence check to check his wounds.
Yeah, or the intelligence check to know if there's any risk of him turning.
Yeah, you can do an intelligence check to see if you can, heard stories of people turning from being attacked.
I too dumb.
You would, that werewolf is, contagious, but you're not sure of how it's, given from one to the next. So you may not even think about it. All right.
I'll probably fail this check, but I want to try to take his heart.
Just his heart? Cut his heart out?
Yep, it's a werewolf heart, so I want this.
All right, go ahead and give me a agility check as you try to delicately take his heart out.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You're trying to cut into the chest, but human anatomy you don't know quite enough about, and can't figure out how to really get past the ribs in order to get in there and take that.
Can I try just the eye?
Absolutely. You have experience with that.
Oh,
but
for fuck's sake.
This one, you struggle with. The animals seem to be a bit easier, the human a bit more difficult. As you start with it, you cut, just wrong and kind of cut the eye. So you've not done much damage to the face, but you've poked the eye.
All right, so that's gonna be it. So this is probably the guy who used to work in the farm, right?
You're probably assuming so, yes.
Okay. Before we leave, I just wanna take a few minutes just to go, around this cave, and just see if there's anything that it's valuable, anything that will call my attention.
Absolutely. As you go back into this back corner, you see what looks like a spring kind of feeds this small little pool back here. And next to the pool, you see what looks like an adventurer's sack of some sort. Maybe somebody had stopped in this cave at some point and kind of hid some things in this bush back here. Inside, you find a longsword, a battle axe, a set of hide armor, and a set of scale mail.
Nice. All right.
Oh, you are, Sander.
Longsword. What was?
I just put it in the chat. So it's a longsword, a battle axe, a set of hide armor, and a set of scale mail.
Okay. My armor is chain, so that doesn't really improve my armor, does it? I did those.
You currently have, what was it again? You have chainmail. I think chain to scale, yeah, it's not much of a difference there.
I'll do a detect magic on the pile of it.
Okay, go ahead. Ooh, 5. All right. Disapproval. So you must serve his immortal master well, lest he fall in disfavor. The cleric who risks the disapproval of his deity finds that he quickly loses access to the extraordinary benefits. So you immediately incur a -2 penalty to all spell checks that last until the next day.
Maybe I'll look at it tomorrow.
Do any of these seem magical? Do any of these seem particularly well made, or
They look fairly mundane, and as a non-magic person yourself, you don't get any sense or feeling of magic coming off of them.
nobody needs that armor, huh?
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, I mean, I got the same. I got chain, so unless
Well,
it's magical.
got a lot for sales or give it back to the family if it's one of the people that we have. Like more like this would belong to an adventurer here. Anything else like in the pool?
The water itself, like this chamber, smells quite fresh. The water looks, if you touch it, it's nice and crisp and cool.
Okay, we've been through all these bushes. It seems like so there were 2 shepherds that went missing, and I'm not sure that adventurer's pack belonged to either one of them. No bones, huh? No human bones or demi-human bones?
There's kind of bones scattered all over the cave. Definitely some of them look as though they could be human. Not a lot of them. It's mostly animal. They're mostly, smaller bones. But you do see a couple that look like they could be larger. And maybe you find one skull.
Okay. And so maybe there might still be another werewolf shepherd running around here. I'm going through these dens here and looking for anything.
Each of the dens, you see like patches of fur, kind of like, a dog when it would sleep in a specific spot over and over and over again. So you see some, like, it's almost like they made their own kind of little bedding. So there is like leaves and debris and then the fur matting. So each of these smells very, very musky of dog, or wolf in this case. But you don't see anything of any other value inside.
None of these go forward, huh?
Yeah, they all seem to go back maybe 10, 15 feet. Some of them open up into like a larger kind of sleeping chamber, but they don't continue on as additional caves further in somewhere.
Well, what do you think, guys? Are any of these pelts worth trying to bring back? Not really.
I think we should sell what we can.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna deal with pelts because I clearly can't. But I think we should just, sell these armors and weapons we're not gonna use, and then just report back, get our money.
And the werewolf himself, he didn't have any money or anything of value on him, huh?
No, he was, stark naked, didn't have anything else on him at all.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap him up a little bit. I guess take him back with us just in case he does belong to the farm.
Okay.
All right. I guess I'm done. Anybody else want to try anything?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. So you guys head back out the cave. So as you're going back outside the cave, we'll just make 3 checks to continue on your way out. So I'll have each of you roll. So Merlin, you first. Go ahead and roll me 2d6.
2d6?
Yep. All right. First part, starting to make your way out. No issues. Hundo, go ahead and roll me 2d6. Still no issues. And last, Pete, go ahead and roll me 2d6. All right, you guys are able to make it out without any issues. Nothing else comes out and attacks you, and you make it back out. As you come back out of the cave, it is starting to get a little bit dark, but you're not too far outside of town. So we'll go ahead and take you back to the home page. So you start making your way through the woods. The sun is setting now, so by the time you make it back to the farm, it is nighttime. So as you approach, you see that the farmer has, it looks like they've started to put up some poles closer to where the sheep stay, and there are 2 torches now lit and hanging there, and it's giving it a good amount of light, so you see where the sheep are, and you can make your way towards the farmhouse.
All right. Well, explain to the farmer the day we had, and I think we've taken out the whole package. And we're wondering if this werewolf was one of his guys.
As you bring him in, he says, "Oh, poor Tabernay. Yes, that was my original farmhand, my night watchman for my sheep. Oh, that's the worst. Where did you find him?"
In a cave den full of wolves, hanging out with like 6-8 wolves. I worry a little bit. Second man you lost, because I'm not sure that we've actually found him.
Oh, what was he doing hanging out in the cave of wolves? Why was he with them?
Oh, he was a werewolf. He was half man, half wolf, and quite ferocious.
And you seem kind of taken back by that. He's like, "Wolves? Werewolves? That's just fancy stories. There's no such thing as werewolves."
Oh no? Well, this guy is one for sure.
And you seem like he's struggling to believe you. Go ahead and give me a personality check really quick.
Let's see.
Yeah, he's not believing that he was a werewolf. There's got to be some other explanation why he ran off. But you did a good service. You've brought him back. You've slain the wolves. You've done a good work. Good work. So what I'll do is I'll triple your week's salaries, as you have been here a week. So he's going to give you. It's going to be basically 25 silver pieces plus the cloaks that you got, and you guys can keep the cloaks as a thank you for your services as well. So it's only 25 silver pieces full that he pays you for your services. And then the cloaks which are worth nothing. 2 each. Well, he's a farmer. He doesn't have too much.
One gold piece is 10 silver pieces, correct?
Yeah. And he says,
"Okay.
Tell you what, I'll round that up." And because he's going through his bag, he's like, "I don't want to count out 25," so he throws you each 1 gold piece. We'll round you up.
All right, I'm exhausted after having stayed up all night and then fighting. So I'm going to ask if we can stay rest one more time at his farmhouse.
And have dinner.
Absolutely. Dinner is actually just about to be ready, so come on in. He invites you into the actual farmhouse. And as you go inside, it is very, very meager. He doesn't have anything very, very nice. It's very, very basic wooden table, basic cabinets and things of that nature. Looks like he doesn't earn a whole heck of a lot, but he makes a fine living and provides everything to the town. So with that, he sits you down, and there's a couple other farmhands there with you. It's him, his wife, and his 2 children. The 2 dogs kind of sleepily laying off on one side of the room. And he gives you guys a great meal. Looks like it's some mutton, some kind of a cornbread type bread as well, and he provides you some mead as well. and you guys sit down and have a good meal, and are able to rest overnight in the bunkhouses that you'd been using.
Right. My personality goes back. Fine. Oh, ignore this row.
Yeah, you get your personality back, no problem. Everybody will
Shadow.
recover 2 hit points as well, sleeping in a bed.
Shadow, how much is the entire XP of all the encounters that we had today?
Yep, so I was going to say that at the end of the day. So total encounters, everybody is going to get 10 XP for the day.
Nice. Only 5 XP away.
All right. So with that, you wake in the morning. Oh, and then Merlin, you get 1 point of strength back as well.
Oh, yeah, I already did this. Yeah, okay.
All right. You wake in the morning and head back to town?
Oh, no, actually, I don't get the strength back, right? Because I only get when I have a full day of rest in which I did not spell burn, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. You got to get back to town, right? That's right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I think what we have left now is just rest, because after this we have to, travel to the east for whatever's happened with the earthquake there.
I'm gonna take the armor and arms for sale if nobody wants them.
Right.
I'm not gonna take any armor, so you do whatever you feel is the best.
None of our town friends could use any of this stuff either, huh?
I'm thinking Levi, since most of this is iron, I think he has better than hide armor already, so he'd be fine. And Barber's not going to use it either because he's a stealthy boy. So no, you should be fine to sell it. So I'll put this together. You can go and sell it all and earn. Let's see, where's it now? All right, so that is going to be 104 gold pieces for selling all that.
Split 3 ways.
Yep.
So you got
how much?
Basically 15% off of their actual value is what you got in value for selling them.
How much is that divided by 3?
I can tell you right now.
I'm around 34.
34.6. So that's
I'll let you guys round up to 35. Each get 35 gold.
35.
And as you leave, the farmer has wrapped up a bunch of like the cornbread that they make here, some sweet potatoes, and several other like bunches of some fresh produce and things like that for you to take as well.
Nice.
All right.
And he says, well, I'm in your debt. Anything you need, don't hesitate to come back by. We'll always be here.
All right. Well, and let us know if that second farmhand seems to be, if you're still getting harassed by something, let us know.
Will do. And again, thank you so much. We'll continue to add a couple more lights there in the pen around our livestock, and hopefully this terrible time has come to an end.
Yeah. I'm going to give 50 gold to the priest to help him hurry his way back to happiness with his god here.
All right.
Oh, yeah, actually, true. Like, I think Bates can burn money to get better, right, with the gods.
Yeah, he can, but he doesn't really necessarily need to if you guys are gonna have some downtime. He's only got 4 disapprovals, so basically, within a week, his disapproval will be gone because he'll spend time at his temple and all that.
Okay. Hold on to my list.
Yeah, and you don't need to. It's more like when we're in the field, I think.
Yep.
Can Can I bring my strength back then, Shadow, as we're gonna have a downtime anyway?
Yeah, by the time we have our next session, yeah, you'll have had enough downtime for that strength to come back.
Okay.
And as you guys make it back to town, and over this week again, you hear a few more people speaking of a spellcaster in town, and how word of mouth can be. They're starting to get more and more grand, where it says, yeah, the man used blood magic and launched massive demons out of his hands, and this is getting more and more just absurd as the stories seem to spread mouth to mouth to mouth, and more grand, and you even hear someone mention the Order of the Gauntlet, and it's like, should somebody let the Order of the Gauntlet know? And other people saying like, oh no, we don't want them around here. They're just way too crazy. We don't want the Order of the Gauntlet around here. And others saying, we should tell them. This caster could bring disaster upon us all. That's you know the old stories. They caused all the strange creatures to come about. And these kind of things, just again, things you overhear. Someone on the street corner talking to somebody else, somebody at the table next to you at the inn, and things like that. So it seems like the stories are getting a bit more grand.
You're clearly mistaking, good clerical magic for nasty, unwarranted magic.
All right. If you try to convince him, go ahead and give me a personality check to see if you can waylay these rumors a bit. You seem to have convinced at least a couple that these stories are overly exaggerated, and that there's somebody somewhere twisted this story. So it seems like you subside the rumors slightly. All right, and with that, we will go ahead and pause. We've got 10 minutes left, so I think that was a pretty good timing to end that one. So you guys have helped the local farmer, got yourselves some nice thick cloaks that'll keep you warm as the winter comes to us. You guys got a good amount of fresh food supplies, a bit of gold and coin in your pockets now, and you guys have fended off a werewolf in the area. There is one more farmhand that is missing. You saw no signs of him, so no clues onto where he ended up. He could have been the bones that were in there. You're not sure. But with that, you're back in town and resting up again and going to be preparing for your next outing. So thank you guys. Thank you for playing today, and we will be back in 2 weeks. Thank you for watching this episode of Stories from Valtara. If you are interested in playing DCC but don't know where to start, check out the Dungeon Crawlers Discord link below, where countless open games are posted both online and in person. And if you are enjoying the series, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.